right. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? This is Twin Flames Unite, and we are at it again. And if you don't know by now, I'm Chris.
I'm Misha.
What up? What's going on, everybody? Hopefully, your day is going well. Welcome to now. This is the fall equinox. Yes. So we are going into the third chapter of things.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. This has been going on. You got the lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. What's up? All right. And so for those who are just tuning in, if you haven't already subscribed, definitely hit that subscribe button. Give the thumbs up. For those of you all who may or may not be aware, is that for now, if you're looking to chat inside of the live chat, you have to be a subscriber in order to chat. So definitely go ahead, hit that subscribe button so that you'll be able to chat with us. You don't have to be here long, just have to be a subscriber. All right. And just clearing out some other things. Today is a very special day. Today is when the stars aligned in a very perfect way. And the gods, they blessed us, the gods and goddesses, the great mother and the all great father. He blessed us with a soul that is so pure. So pure.
And my gosh.
Like the amount of blessings that were bestowed upon us on this very day. We're not going to say how many years ago.
How many eons?
But on this day, a couple of years ago,
mm-hmm.
Less than 2 decades ago.
Yeah, definitely less.
Less than 2 decades ago, we were blessed with this beautiful, beautiful soul. So we definitely want to give thanks and praise for this soul being here, helping you all on your journey, helping me on my journey. And so we just want to give thanks and honor to this beautiful goddess.
It's so nice.
All right. So we definitely had to get that up and going. We're
thank you guys.
And on a real note, y'all, this is one you're definitely going to want to share.
Yeah.
Okay. This is definitely one that you want to share because we're not going to be here too long.
No.
Because this is something that has come up quite often. But we're going to touch on it very briefly, very quickly. Okay. Because we got a dinner to go to. Let me stop.
Yeah. Gonna go out in the town and enjoy the night.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So yeah, we're not gonna be here too long.
All right. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. Okay.
What do you want, Zeus?
I don't know if y'all can hear it, but he's just over here licking my arm. No. We got work to do.
You want to go out or something?
Oh, he probably does. But
sorry guys. It's just
go ahead and go tell him you need to go out.
He listened. Look at him. He listened.
He actually went up there. All right. Sorry, y'all. We got to get one of the kids to go and take the dog out. Apparently, he needs to go and do whatever he needs to do.
Yes. And thank you, Phyllis. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, everybody who's wishing me happy birthday.
Yes.
And sending your donations. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you all for the birthday wishes.
Yes.
My baby appreciates it. We love y'all so much. Thank you.
And that your donations for my birthday, it is gonna go towards my art class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, see that painting back there. My wish is to do really, really big paintings, like huge paintings. And those canvases, they're not cheap. So
no, they're not.
But thank you for helping me to really bring my imagination to life. So I appreciate that.
All right. So on today, we are going to be talking about shadow work.
Yeah, we know you guys don't like talking about shadow work. That's why it's
Mhm.
only a few people here right now. But
Yeah.
maybe you guys are meant to be here. Maybe this is for you. If we were
Yes.
talking about something else, we would have plenty of other people in the room. But for some reason, when people hear shadow work, they get really run. They literally run.
Okay. But y'all are strong.
Mhm.
So if you're sitting here and you're watching this video, that means that you are a strong individual and you about that work. Okay. But today we're going to touch on some things that you may or may not consider or may not have known was a part of your shadow work. And the reason why we're going into this right now is that because it is a very oh, we got a notification going on. Okay. Gosh, let me put this on silent so I don't get distracted right now because
It's a lot happening.
this is something that we gotta bring it through. Okay. All right. So there have been a series of events that have been happening in the past week or two. You're pretty much aware of it as far as Elizabeth announcement of being passed away.
Mhm.
So many different laws and things that are being passed that are just freaking ridiculous. And so many things are going on as far as hurricanes, earthquakes, um, you name it, typhoons, and it's just a whole lot that's going on right now, right?
Mhm.
And and we've been sitting back and observing a lot of things that have been going on and a lot of the different messages that are coming across through different channels, including the channels that we receive, not so much on YouTube, but the channels that we receive, the downloads that we receive.
Yeah.
And with that being said, one of the main key things that is coming about is getting your shadow work out of the way. Okay? Because for whatever reason, what's coming down the pipeline is going to require that you have as much of your house cleaned out as much as possible. Okay?
Yes.
And we're talking about mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Really getting all of that cleared out of the way so that it won't be a problem for whatever is about to come down the pipeline. What it is, we don't know. We don't know what's coming down that pipeline, but one of the things that's definitely coming across is that you need to do your shadow work. And why would this be so important as far as what's coming down the line in regards to your shadow work? Well, here's the thing. Some of the things that are going to be revealed are going to pretty much imagine this. Imagine the Hoover Dam, right? Even though we know it's shrinking right now, it may be going up now, but for the most part, it was shrinking. And imagine having the whole ocean behind that Hoover Dam. Okay? Imagine that amount of pressure all coming at once. Everything that you've ever experienced, from every trauma that you've had,
Wow.
from different beliefs that you've had, and imagine all of that pressure of the ocean going on the Hoover Dam. Like right now, the Hoover Dam is not equipped to handle the ocean. It can handle a lake, but it can't handle an ocean. So, with that being said, for whatever is coming, it is going to shake your beliefs. It is going to trigger a lot of your traumas. And if you're not ready for that, then it can be very devastating. So that's the reason why, and that just came to me as we're talking with you all right now. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to go into some areas of shadow work that you may or may not have considered to be shadow work. Okay, and I've got a few notes here, but I'm not going to go too much in this because some of this stuff I wrote right off the top of the dome, and it's not YouTube friendly.
Some of them ain't friendly at all.
Some of it ain't friendly at all. But we're gonna talk about it.
The shadow
Okay.
work doesn't always feel right, but
Okay.
it's necessary.
All right. So your knowing your past lives is a part of your. Chris and Leisha, why is knowing about your past lives? What does that have to do with shadow work? Okay. Well, when it comes to your past lives, not only is it something that you experienced back then, but it's also something you're experiencing right now. Okay. And so some of the things that you may experience in the past, let's just say, for example, if, let's just say back in the day, you used to rob people in another past life. Maybe you were a pirate, right? Or maybe you were one of the Spanish conquistadors that went through it and colonized certain parts of the world, right? And so, in order to balance out that karma, you may be experiencing some troubles in your current life where it may be the opposite of what you did in that past life. Okay. So, that's a part of the shadow work that we definitely have to touch on. And the other things is understanding the depth of mind control that was pretty much that you were subjected to, as well as your past lineages.
True.
Like, how would you say that the level of mind control not only affects us today, but affect us in the past?
Well, I think sometimes we forget that there are actually levels to work.
Mm-hmm.
So there are different levels, and I think that's kind of what we wanted to just quickly bring to you guys today, is to remember that there are literally levels to it. So you would have the first level we all, are aware of is ourselves, right? Our
Mm-hmm.
childhood, our trauma, things that we experience within this life. But that's the first level. It goes back even further, and that's what I would call the generational courses. See, I'm saying it nice. People like to call it generational curses, but I prefer to say a course because we're here to learn life lessons, right? And we learn lessons through courses.
Mm-hmm.
So we would want to definitely pay attention to repeating patterns that we notice in our gene pool or in our family.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to take a certain level of you really acknowledging um, and admitting, because the ego sometimes prevents us from really acknowledging these things. And then if you're not willing to say, you know what, yeah, I did kind of inherit that from my grandma. Damn, look
Mm-hmm.
how I do this just like her. Or maybe you're a guy and you're like, damn, I got this from my dad. Look, I do this just like him. So it takes
Mm-hmm.
a level of self accountability to even be able to admit and see it before you can even do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds easy saying it, but
Yeah.
when you actually have to do it, that's a whole another bad boy. Because
Mm-hmm.
admittance is not as easy as you could just say it, right?
Right.
So now once you've seen the patterns, you can just sit back and look at your family. Maybe you might have a gathering for I don't know, Thanksgiving that's coming up, whatever you celebrate. Really sit back and look. I'm pretty sure you'll see some form of pattern repeating itself within the family.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can really look to see, where it's located at inside of you. Because as with so without, they say nothing exists in our exterior world that does not exist in the interior world.
Facts.
It just would manifest different on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
right? So once you've come to that conclusion, once you've done your analysis and you can see where those patterns lay in the gene pool, then you could now start to actually heal that part of yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's like you they call them the curse breakers in the family lineage. That's what they call them, right?
Yes.
And that's just the term they put on it. But you know how you can have maybe 6 generations,
Mm-hmm.
and out of those 6 generations, they might just have that one that just is the first in the family to graduate from college.
Yeah.
Nobody in the family ever graduated from college but that one person. And so that kind of changes the course moving forward.
Yeah.
So that's just an example,
Yeah.
of what a course breaker looks like.
Yeah. And for a lot of our 80s babies, we actually broke that curse for our families. Because when I think about it, there are quite a few people in my family that didn't graduate from college, but then some of my cousins, they graduated before I did, and I went to college doing the stuff that I did, and so that's one of the curses that can be broken. Another curse is having not being raised in a single parent home.
Right, right. So
Hmm.
that definitely would be something as far as evolving. Now, with the college, I won't. I'm not necessarily saying that that's a curse.
Well, yeah, no,
It's just an
yeah,
example
right.
because some people they are very successful and they don't even step foot into college. And
Hmm.
as a matter of fact, the way that the colleges are set up right now is more indoctrination more than anything else, you know. But
Yes.
that was just kind of an example to show what it would actually look like as far as evolving that part of your. So you'll be the first person to break the not having a dad around, not having a dad around, not having a dad around, and now you are there with your kid.
Hmm.
That's an idea, a perfect idea of a course breaker. So
Yes.
that's not gonna continue. You're teaching your youth something different, and then they're gonna teach and so on and so forth.
Right.
It could be maybe your mom was on drugs, right? So from trauma,
Hmm.
so maybe your great grandmother had drug problems. The grandmother had drug problems. Your mom had drug problems. So now
Hmm.
you would step in now and you would decide that I'm going to do something different, and then you start doing something different. So it stops right there. It's not
Hmm.
continuing on.
Right.
So when you stop a trait in your gene pool that's not serving the highest good of your lineage, then you literally you seal the deal. And that's another level of shadow work.
Yes.
But first you have to start with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It definitely starts with self, and this is a part of the thing where a lot of people talk about go within. Like, what the hell do they mean about go within? Well, we're talking about going within because you're looking through your DNA, you're seeing some that from other related nature and seeing how it's actually manifesting in your own life so
Mm-hmm.
that you can look at it, dissect it, and see if there's something that you need to accept or something you need to, um, well, we're accepting all of the parts of us, but we're accepting
Mm-hmm.
which part actually defines who we are.
Or the ones that you want to keep.
Hmm.
Because there's some good traits in the gene pool that you probably
Right.
would want to keep. So
Hmm.
you don't get rid of everything. You don't how they say you don't throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Yeah, you don't throw the baby out with
Yeah.
the bathwater.
Some things are actually good and beneficial. So you keep those things, but the ones that are really preventing you from growing to that next level, that's the one that you'll evolve.
Hmm. Now, another level of shadow work is unlearning everything.
Mm.
Because what we have been seeing unfold right in front of our eyes is that a lot of truth that we thought was truth is not truth. It was actually something that was made up. And we we're talking about when it comes to history, we all know that when it comes to history, it's his story. And when we're talking about his story, we're talking about the individual who won the war.
Right.
Because whoever won the war tells the story.
That's right.
Okay. And there are a lot of things that are coming out right now that are blowing people's wigs back. Right. Got some more happy birthdays. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right. And yeah, so it's a lot of information that's blowing people's wigs back. For example, we're finding out that there are more planets out there that are like Earth that we haven't explored. So that means that yes, there are other there are possibilities of other people looking like us, acting like us, and whole other galaxies and planets that look just like Earth.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
I always said since I was a kid, you know,
Hmm.
it takes a risk, you know, to really think that in infinity, you would be the only one. Think about it. That's really some type of balls. Like you really
Hmm.
think for real now that you are the only one in space?
Hmm.
It just doesn't make sense. Like I just never I never I'm sorry, they just couldn't put that program inside of me ever since I
Uh,
was a kid. Like I didn't buy it at all. Not
right.
even for a little bit.
Hmm. Yeah. And then there are a lot of things that were um, told to us about the world. Like for the longest time when I was a kid, I always thought that the kids in Africa just walked on dirt, had flies all over them,
Man,
had huts.
I I used to be sitting in front of the TV crying every time they had that damn commercial that would come on with the kids with the big stomach and the flies around them. And I would sit in front of the TV and I would bawl. And Mommy, could you sponsor one of the kids, please?
Please, let's adopt
Crying.
them.
Can we take them home? Like, come to find out that whole company was full of fraud. Like, it's just so much that you learn and
Hmm.
so many things that we do need to unlearn, which will help us along our shadow work,
Yes,
right?
yes, and understanding where these these alternative truths came from.
You mean alternative lies?
Okay, because yeah, there are some parts in Africa that are poor and they go through some hardships,
Yeah.
but we also have hardships like that in America,
Right here too.
in England,
Yeah,
um,
everywhere.
everywhere, Ukraine, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like it exists everywhere. So it's like half of a truth, and it's just really exploding it to
Hmm.
where it's like dramatized.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are a lot of things that were taught
Mhm.
that need to be unlearned.
Unlearn.
Okay.
Seriously. We discovered a big truth yesterday that we didn't even know. We literally just we don't say we heard it because they're gonna think we crazy, but
But nah, y'all
it was
get
a
it.
strong thought form.
Very strong thought form.
A strong thought form came in, and so light bulbs went off, and we started digging and found something out, guys. I mean, this is something they tell us all the time, but they very vaguely skip over it. Like they don't even go into details about it. They
Mm-mm.
just mention it, and oh, we're moving on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
we'll probably share it with you guys on Instagram or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. We may share it on Instagram, but when you think about, I'll just say this: if you look up Pangea, you probably know what Pangea is. Um, yeah, she said she couldn't stand those commercials either.
Right.
But if you look at Pangea, that's the image of what the Earth looked like before the continents split apart.
Right.
And when you start looking at that, is certain things start to click, especially if you know about all of the pyramids that are in the United States, that are in South America, that are in Mexico, that are in China, and it's very few places that you can go around the world and there not be a pyramid. Okay, and so when you start to look at this, you're like, huh, okay, I can see how those things were there, especially if it was in Africa. And then it also makes a little bit more sense about how all these different people got everywhere because at one point the landmass was all together. And just imagine if you were in a house in an earthquake. Okay, we got some earthquakes going off right now,
Right.
and you got everybody in the house. You got one group of people on the west part of the house. You got another people on the east part of the house. But then an earthquake happens and it splits the house into two different parts, and it may split it a far part away. And some archaeologists would look back and say, "Oh, they must have traveled a long distance to get over there." Like No, they were already there. It's just the shit split while they were there. So
Right.
you start to go back and you can look into different things. Right now, we're just giving y'all some nuggets, something to chew on.
Look at it and see what you come, because you can literally take the map, and it's like a puzzle. You can literally fit them bad boys together, and they'll join up, and it'll become you see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And then start looking at the picture, and then start making sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
SR hit it right on the head and says you're hired.
Thank you. Yes, okay. It was really intense because I started wanting to get a scissors and cut it out and make a puzzle, and then I realized that it's actually online. I didn't have to go through cutting it out and putting it together. So when I pulled it up, I was like, well, I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a lot from just looking at it. A lot of revelations would come to you, especially for melanated people.
Yeah,
you'll start looking at things different, especially melanated people that live in the U.S. It'll bring a whole new perspective.
Yeah,
to you.
And speaking on that, we're not going to go in depth like I was planning on, but
no, that'll make I'll not probably want to do shadow work.
Okay. But one of the things, and this goes to looking into your past lives and how things kind of panned out, and also understanding the amount of mind control that went into so much of things. But just going to reference back to the thumbnail of this video. Okay. And I'm just going to say this. There's a lot of information that's going to come out very, very soon that is going to give further explanation to this thumbnail. But just to say this for now, which is that the ones who we thought were the oppressors in the beginning, and I'm saying in the beginning because now is all over the place. But the ones who we thought were the oppressors in the beginning may shock you. And it's a lot of documentation that is out there. If you go through and do your research, you will find it. It's just a matter if you scared or not.
I already knew this though.
Yeah,
I was already told.
You actually said that 2 years ago.
I told you that. I literally got a whole download as to how this whole mob show went down, and I told you how it went down. And I know you looked at me like, I know this girl crazy.
No, I actually didn't look at you crazy.
Sometimes I be saying the wildest stuff, but then a couple of years down the line, it proves itself.
Yeah,
that's what happened when you see it. You look crazy in the beginning, but then when stuff start revealing, then everybody start giving you your flowers and stuff and your cookies. Like, okay, she ain't crazy.
She ain't crazy.
she just could see some stuff.
Right. And just to make sure. Oh, last thing when it comes to shadow work, and this actually came after taking down notes and going outside and just sitting in the sun and just meditating. Okay. When it comes to shadow work, you have to think about your own shadow in the physical form. I'm sorry, every time I say physical, I think
physical performance.
I don't know if you ever seen this video of this guy who was drunk. He's talking about I ain't doing the physical performance. Yeah. If y'all know about that video, drop a comment.
He is hilarious.
But every time I say physical, I think about physical performance.
I ain't doing no goddamn physical performance test. You do the physical performance test. Why you ain't closing your eyes?
You been drinking? Like, oh gosh, that's a whole side note.
Sorry, guys. Y'all got to see this black guy and this white cop back in the 80s or whatnot, and he was drunk, and so I guess he was driving, and then they switched seats before the cops pulled him over, and I guess they caught them switching seats because he was drunk, and he had to do a physical performance test. Back in the day, they made them touch their head, hold out their hands, and he was going along with it in the beginning.
Like, why you ain't doing
it? He asking the officer, why you ain't doing the test?
Oh god,
it was funny. Y'all can look it up when you get a chance. It's hilarious.
It's still on YouTube. We may post it in the just for
Oh
laughs.
man, that was so funny.
But going back to today and during the meditation, and I was just really sitting. I was like, from really needs to be here in regards to shadow work, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about it in the physical form, like right now, like we got lights shining on us,
Right.
but right now you all can't see the shadow. Okay, well actually even for us, like right now, like I can't see my shadow because right now I'm looking at the light, so I don't see a shadow, but the shadow is still there. Okay, and there's another layer to that in just a second, but one of the things I was like, okay, so if I'm not seeing my shadow, then why is it important for me to even work on do shadow work? Okay, and actually, I'm actually going to the point that you brought up as we were talking, which was that other people can see your shadow.
Plain as day.
Okay, you walking down the street, you may not see your shadow, but everybody else sees your shadow. And how foolish do you look acting like, oh no, I don't have any baggage, I don't have any traumas, I'm over the traumas, but everybody see your trauma just straggling right behind you. Okay, now if that shadow is embarrassing to you in any shape, form, or fashion, you need to be aware of it. And so it wasn't until I, what was I doing? I was doing, I forgot what yoga position, but I was pretty much laying down, but my back was to the sun, and I'm looking out in front of me. I was like, okay, I see my shadow. So, and at first, the first thought that came to mind was that, okay, so sometimes you need to turn away from the light in order to see your shadow. And it's not so much the turning away from the light, like going to the dark side.
Right.
It's turning away from what you see as identifying yourself.
The ego.
It's turning away from what has been told to you to be the truth and actually looking somewhere else to try to see if that truth can actually be validated.
Right.
Okay? So sometimes, in order to see your shadow, you have to turn away from that light.
Right. Turn away from that thing that you so identify with. Like I was talking about that today. Like some people identify so much with being a good person that it's out of balance. It's out of it's what happened when you take a picture and it's blown out? What you call those?
It's blown out.
It's blown out. Blown out of proportion.
It's too much light.
It's too much light, so you can't even see a picture. You can't see anything at that point. So that's what happens sometimes when we want to be to that person, because being a good person means you don't do this. Being a good person means you don't do that. You have all of these labels that are affiliated with being a good person. Then, you're missing the mark, and it's crazy because one thing I learned, right, in psychology, the more that you identify with being a good person, the more that you validate that ideology of being a good person, guess what happens? The denser your shadow gets.
It gets darker.
It gets darker and heavier and denser. The more you hold on to, I'm such a good person.
I don't care. I don't eat meat.
It's out of balance.
I just meditate.
Like
I got my crystals.
Right.
Like, get away, negativity. Get away.
Right. My poo smells like roses.
Right.
Like a whole nother level. That's out of balance. Right. Way out of balance.
Yes. We definitely have to find balance And it's when you're able to see your shadow,
Right.
which means that you turn away from the norm
Mm-hmm.
in order to see your shadow.
Right. Q said something today that was so cool. He
Mhm.
said, if you wanna see what's at the bottom, you gotta get in the middle.
Mm.
If you wanna know what's at the bottom, you have to get in the middle.
Mm.
Right? That's how you figure out what the hell is going on at the bottom, in the damn middle. Which means you gotta come get into balance.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully this video was helpful for you all, because once again, for reasons that we don't know at this very moment,
Mm-hmm.
shadow work is very, very, very important.
Okay, I'm gonna put it in ghetto terms. Listen, y'all. Shit about to get real. He said it in a bougie way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it in a ghetto way. Shit about to get real. Shit
Yes.
about to hit the fan. So get y'all shadow work did.
Yeah.
If you need some help with y'all's shadow work, we got a whole video that we did to help you with your shadow work.
Mm-hmm.
Alright? We
But
got the bougie and the ghetto. You see, that's the balance.
But real talk, you gotta get it together.
Gotta get it together, guys.
Because just once again, just imagine, look at the Hoover Dam. Right now, some of the water is draining out so that more water can come in. But once again, if you had the entire ocean the back of the Hoover Dam, it ain't gonna be too much longer before that thing break.
Right. So get yourself prepared. We only telling you this, guys, because listen, they're about to start telling y'all some truths you're not gonna like.
Yes.
Okay, it's already started happening. Okay,
Yeah.
You're about to be on information overload.
Yes.
And the only way for you to really handle this information overload that's about to come through in our behinds is to turn within. Mm-hmm. This is why we're telling you this. Because the reason why we're telling you to do your shadow work, and we really getting in there, is because when the world starts looking like something else is going on, you have to go. You won't have a choice.
Yeah.
You will have to go within, right? Now, if you're not comfortable being alone, if you're not comfortable spending time with self, if you are not comfortable going within, you need to get comfortable.
Yeah.
You need to get comfortable.
Yeah. And my higher self just gave me this other little tidbit of the reason why it is important to do shadow work, why it's important to understand your past lives, why it's important to understand the mind control and the manipulation that has been played on you as well as your ancestors for eons. Okay? Why it's important for you to go through and really take a look at your shadow is that because there's a lot of clutter that needs to be removed. Okay? And the clutter is kind of like for a musician in the booth. You know, they got all those soundproof things around the wall so they can't hear what's going on outside and they can only hear what's going on inside. But just flip this around for a second, okay? Because your higher self is trying to get a message to you, but it's so much soundproof walls inside of your vessel that the message can't get through.
It can't come through. It's too much clutter.
Okay, because the things that are going to need to be done is going to be received telepathically. Don't ask me why I'm saying this like this, but I'm just going with it. But the information is going to come through telepathically. And so if you don't have those old dogmas out of your mind, like, oh, if I hear voices, then I need to be going to the nut house. No.
Let me go get some medication so I can shut these voices out.
Yeah, because it's crazy how the pastor can hear voices from somebody
God
else.
And Jesus and Peter and Paul all day long.
But if you hear voices,
you crazy.
They put you in the nut house.
You crazy.
So it's a lot of dogmas that need to be broken, especially the vision of who the Messiah is. And here's a little hint: the Messiah is you.
Let me see how much people gonna leave now. But 6 people.
So the Messiah is you. So if you see another image or another being show up that looks like you, it's like, come with me, my child. We're going to a better place. You be like, who the fuck are you?
You ain't got
know?
where your blue eyes at?
You ain't got no blue eyes, long hair. Like, what's going on?
Who you?
So these dogmas, we need to.
Yeah, got to get rid of them guys because they've been holding us back for too long now.
Mhm.
Again, they're gonna start telling you the truth. Okay, y'all are gonna start getting some truth, like we said, like Isis wisdom. That shit's gonna blow you and with the hell right back. Truth that's getting ready to come out. See, we've been studying for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
So we've already know a lot of stuff. Some of the things that we know we don't even say on this channel because this whole shit's gonna get shut down.
Yeah. And we'll say this: we know some things, but then we also know that we don't know a goddamn thing.
And the more that we are learning, and the more that we are growing, and the more that we think we are knowing, the more we are realizing how much we really don't know. If that makes sense, I hope that did.
Yeah.
The more you know, the more you realize you don't know shit, but you still know something, right? But we've been studying for a while, guys. And we know some stuff.
Yeah.
And we can tell you that just prepare yourself because they're getting ready to tell it all.
Yeah. It's the disclosure has already happened, but there's a, you know what, you can only disclose what you know. But there are things that even they don't know to come out. Information is gonna push your wig back.
All the way back in time.
Okay. Yeah.
Get ready, y'all.
She seems like crazy.
You will.
Yo, and if you're getting downloads, that means that you have been doing some real shadow work in order for you to be able to receive that information. A lot of reprogramming that was, and it's in the Bible, even for our Christians. A renewing of your mind. Y'all know the scripture. Y'all know it. A renewing of your mind.
Say it, Deacon.
Okay? So if you're renewing your mind, that means all the stuff that you learned previously, you need to throw that out with the bathwater.
We need some one of them pianos. I wish I had the piano to play. Dun, 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 dun. So a renewing of the spirit. This is what we in, guys. Refreshing of the heart.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Don't be afraid. Do your shadow work, man. Listen, I just found out today in meditation. I didn't even realize it. Maybe, I don't know how it just came to me, right? So I found out today that the what is the yellow chakra? That's the
oh yeah, you got to tell that.
The yellow chakra, the one that's represented by yellow. I always get the sacral and the solar plexus mixed up. I think that's the solar plexus.
Yeah, I think that's the solar.
The solar plexus, whichever one is the yellow, right?
Yeah, solar. Yeah.
Solar plexus, right? Chakra. And the throat chakra. Okay. The heart is the one that balances out the throat and the solar plexus. Why? Because when you mix yellow and blue, baby, you get green.
Every time.
And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
So yellow, okay, and blue, which is the throat, balances the heart. Right? So if you find you're having problems with the throat chakra, which is speaking up, if you find you're having problem with like expressing yourself and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? You got to balance that out, boo-boo. Balance it out. Because the balance is in the heart.
Yeah. And
if you're not doing your shadow work, this thing right here is it's not going to be balanced. All right?
What they say, oh my solar plexus child.
That's what I said. That's what I wanted to say. Like, oh my me. Wow. I was in the tub, like it was profound because I was submerged and I was just like getting the information. I was like, wow. I'm in there like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Some more downloads, but it was more on a personal level. But that one I could share.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, y'all. So once again, we hope that information was helpful. We're about to go ahead and have our celebration dinner. Forgive me, I just went through a whole time warp right there.
You had to come back.
I had to come back.
I had to switch seats. You had to switch seats. Hiatus was like, all right, be good now. Put a regular part back.
But but we're about to head out because we're going to celebrate
Yes.
my baby's return,
Mm-hmm.
and have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
For those who want to give any love donations for this lovely goddess's beautiful day, the information is scrolling below to send it via Cash App. We appreciate all of those who have sent thus far.
Thank
Y'all
you.
are so amazing. It's going towards more art.
Oh, yeah, that's my dream. That is
Okay.
definitely my dream.
Mm-hmm.
Is to take this art class so that I can get to the next level. I mean, it looks nice, but
Mm-hmm.
I really want to define it, so I could make those bomb pieces. So if y'all want to bless me with something, whatever you can, to help make my dreams come true, I would appreciate it.
Yes, 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 yes.
And thank
All
you
right,
for
y'all.
all the happy birthday wishes. I do appreciate it.
All right, y'all. So we are out. We love y'all so,
We
so
love
much.
you guys.
Peace out.